Okay, Austin. So I'm going to be brief with this one because I think you can read the comments in my in your document. You didn't mention it in the last one, but I'm pretty sure you're able to read the document comments. So I'll let them speak for themselves, but I will tell you up front that this is way better than your first draft attempt, which is great. I'll go over a little bit of it briefly, but most of it you can read in the comments. That being said, I'm also happy that you're receptive to comments. It sounds like, from what your mom described, that you were appreciative of what I offered. And so I'm going to keep providing you edits as long as you're willing to accept them until we get a product that you're happy with and that you can be proud of. And I think you're getting there. One of the things that's key about writing, as you probably know, is the secret is editing. And that's true for everybody. So, in fact, I learned that lesson from a professor in college named Dr. Payne, which is kind of a metaphorical perfect thing. Dr. Payne, the writing instructor. She's a wonderful lady. And that's where I learned editing because, I had a natural talent for writing, but I never edited until college, and it really unlocked my writing. So, as long as you're willing, I'm going to continue to help you with your edits because I think there's a good thing here, and you need to uncover it, and it's going to be hard work, but I think that you'll get what you want out of this. So that being said, I will tell you this is really great. You just need to focus. So I'll make some generic comments. First comment I want to make, and it is commented on in the document itself, is the first basically three paragraphs where you say the loudspeaker chimed, and then you end with, I sunk back into my seat, my mind racing, what do I do now? That's all great. That's really great stuff, right? It's a story. It brings you in. You're showing, you're not telling. It's really excellent. And then the very next sentence, I knew I failed myself. And it threw me out. And I had to think about it. Why did it throw me out? And it threw me out because you lost an election. It's kind of like losing out on a job at a job interview. You don't really have control over that. You can only influence the voter or the person hiring you to a certain amount. And then after that, they make their choice based on whatever criteria. And so, really, that's not about you failing, it's about the people around you not giving you the support. Could you have done more to get elected? Sure. But that's why I question whether or not this is the right example. But then further down, you go in a different direction. And this is really the comment I wanted to make. You can read all the other comments in line. So then you start talking about you went to cross country that you hated, and then you started doing this tennis thing. And as you're doing tennis, it's like you discovered you love it and that sort of thing, right? There's one sentence in here I want to highlight. You said, after much reflection, I concluded that if I do not try out and I do not participate on the team, it will be the same result than if I failed to make it. That's a great sentence. I think there's a lot there to expand on. So I'm not sure the mention of the election as the failure point is the right thing so much as it is that's about rejection to me. That's not about necessarily failure. So I think you might want to retool how you use the election example to bring you into a failure example and how that changes things for you and taught you how to try new stuff. Okay, so uh, yeah, I think you need to focus again a little bit more closely. And one of the questions I guess I want to ask you, because I want you to dig deep and get this right. I mean, this is going to Harvard, right? You're going to be competing with people who are Harvard quality people, and you're one of them. If you're going to write an essay for Harvard, the question is, have you really failed in your life in a way that is emotionally significant? And I think that's really one of the things that's being asked here is for you to sort of pour that out. And failure at an election, again, I question that. The tennis example and how you responded to the election is great. But if you're going to use the election as the example that drove you in that direction, if it truly did, I think you need to discuss it in terms of rejection, not necessarily failure, and then tie failure in some other fashion. But that starts becoming unfocused if you're not careful. So really concentrate on focus because you only got so many words on this essay, I'm guessing, and you want to be as concise and as cogent and as compelling as possible in the shortest amount of time, right? So that's that. So I'm going to just end with that. And again, I'm going to reemphasize comma usage. You need to get control of it. In some parts, you don't have enough commas. And in other parts, you again have too many. And I noted those for you. So watch out for that. And then word choices. The only one that I'm going to really point out here for you before I close this up is where you said variety of philosophies. So you said, slowly reality set in. I realized that my life was not going to end, and I took into consideration a variety of philosophies from it. Up until you said a variety of philosophies, that was a great sentence. A variety of philosophies, though, makes me wonder. So seriously, you sat down on your couch and you thought about Epicureanism and existentialism and epistemology and Cartesian philosophy. I mean, that's what you did? Because variety of philosophies, that's what that means. So be careful with your word choice. I know what you're trying to get across, but instead of trying to make something out of that with other words, just say what you're trying to get across. Be direct. Sometimes simplicity is the more sophisticated form of expression than using complex concepts, constructed phrases like variety of philosophies. Does that make sense? So simplicity and precision, and of course, get control of commas. All right, that's it for this one. Focus, keep working it. You're onto something with this one, and it's good. So I have to tell you also on this one, when you started telling the story, your writing level on this one was way better than your first one. So I mean, your first one truly must have been a first draft. This one sounds like you really put some thought into it. So good job. Let's keep going.